of these amazing tools like GoToMeeting and all the other join.me's of the world that allow people to communicate better, faster, quicker in this ever, better, faster, quicker economy. And the second reason, I think, is that the advancement of the number of products and tools that leverage technology that companies are using has exploded in the last 10 years. The cloud to store and present different tools wasn't around 10 years as far as I know. And so how companies access that has been really transformational in so many of the different products. Again, so many of the products that we sell are ranging between $2,000 and $5,000, $7,000, and those are the companies across the country. So I think you have to wonder how many, how difficult it would be to go out and service and have a salesperson go out and make a face-to-face sales call in order to sell a $7,000. So the advancement of this technology has allowed companies to not only use technology to be closer to their customer, so it's been a great boom for the outsourced sales industry. I will be. This webinar is being recorded. It is on mute, but there will be a opportunity at the end of this session to ask any questions that you may have. So I'll continue. Again, my name is Joe Flanagan. I run an outsourced sales company called Acquirent. We are based just outside of Chicago in a wonderful town called Evanston, Illinois. And I guess one of the first questions that most people may have is, what types of companies are involved in outsourcing their sales? And the range is all over the board. We have some of the biggest companies in the world that use our services, and we have some of the smallest companies in the world, all for different reasons. And so each of the outsourced sales companies' roles is different. For example, in a larger company, the challenges that we solve for many of those organizations is speed. In some of the larger companies that look to outsource their sales, they cannot hire as quickly as a lot of the folks that are smaller, more nimble company. And again, it's beyond firing, it's the ability to flex. So the ability to hire and to grow a team and to shrink his team is a skill and an attribute a lot of larger companies don't have. The other role we play for a lot of larger companies is the ability to fit into smaller marketplace. For example, there are certain clients that we have that will have anywhere between 30 and 75 or 100 outside sales reps that are in companies that are in the major cities all across the country. Yet they can't oftentimes get to and provide the right coverage for organizations and prospects in smaller parts of the country, so that they're made, whether you're calling on schools, municipality, or different other organizations. It is car dealers. Those organizations need the coverage as well. So oftentimes organizations will have an outsourced sales company provide that. On the flip side, smaller companies, really, I'd classify it in three different ways. One, about people, process, and technology. Oftentimes, and I'll talk about this later, people struggle with the ability to recruit quality salespeople for a whole host of reasons I'll get into later. Smaller organizations are less skilled and experienced in the process, building the repeatable, disciplined process that's required to be in sales. And again, that's mission critical, particularly in an inside sales role where velocity is really important. And the last is technology. And again, I'd say that this is primarily driven with the role CRM plays for lots of companies. And a lot of companies we see struggle with the advancement in the leveraging of CRM. And I'd say this is both in terms of both larger and smaller companies. So we work for large. We look for all types of organizations. The roles we play are across the board. We do lots of companies are in a closing role. So companies that, again, particularly in the software area, leverage an outsourced sales company in order to take opportunities from cold call or prospecting to close. They again, using that smaller organization, using the speed that people can grow is often something that that we have been doing for many years. And on the flip side, one of the other areas that we've seen grow in the last 5 years particularly is as many organizations are looking at the sales process as a process they need to break into chunks, particularly if they've got a diverse, widespread sales organization that has salespeople working out of their homes and in smaller offices, and the expectation is they're in planes, trains, and automobiles that seeing customers and engaging with prospects and negotiating. So what we are, the many outsourced sales companies have become very skilled in creating leads or lead generation for their clients. So they create this inside-outside methodology that allows the more seasoned, experienced sales reps be more involved in taking the more properly identified opportunities from cold call to close. So it's an inside-outside coordination where the inside sales company is doing the difficult, heavy lifting in researching and making the calls and identifying the correct person within their target company to see and to warm up the opportunity. It's been incredible growth in our business as we've done this. But I think if you had to synopsize what we do for our, what outsourced sales company do for our clients, I'd break it up into 4 different roles we play. We recruit, we train, we manage, and we create meaningful data for our clients. Again, very simply, we recruit, we train, we manage, and create meaningful data for companies. Again, I've found through our experience that most, addressing recruiting first, most of the companies that are in our space are in larger metropolitan areas that have access to a young, educated workforce that is key to a sophisticated sales process. So we have, again, the recruiting process is a very difficult process. If we can't recruit quality salespeople and identify those roles, we'll never be successful. No matter how successful those products are, the ability to recruit that is very good. And again, having a system that is definable and repeatable is mission critical. We have a 17-step process that we stick to for just about all of our hires. We put those that includes phone interviews, face-to-face interviews, and very meaningfully, we use assessments. And there's many good assessment tools out there. We happen to use the Wonderlic, which is a series of tests that we put all our candidates through, which we find to be very helpful. And it's not the it's not the silver bullet, but it is a meaningful piece of data in the recruiting process. So again, when we talk about that, it's about having a definable, repeatable process that you think works for your organization, and then using assessments. And that's a step. The second piece is training. We look at training. A lot of companies look at training in 2 areas. One is a real commitment to every day, every week training that is on the basics. So our particular organization, we really have 3 different training modules that we put all our salespeople. Even the most experienced folks go through a 12-week program that is every Wednesday, or pick a day, where it's about an hour, that they go through the basic blocking and tackling of getting through the gatekeeper, asking good questions, the importance of the right attitude, how to ask, the importance of listening, all those key features that are basic, yes, but they're absolutely mission critical. And even seasoned sales professionals like to go through this just to refine their skills and just remind themselves. I find that all the time. But the other meaningful training component is the ability to work with our clients in creating an onboarding process that makes the process of education for a particular sales professional important. And again, the education and the training for each of those client relationships has to be recognized as unique and different. So therefore, the sales organization has to have a process of onboarding that's mission critical. We feel that that's distinguishing. The third is managing. How does one manage? We again look at this in a two-part process. We believe wholeheartedly that there is an absolute critical ability to have a team of managers that is close to their sales team within feet. We don't have a single office in this office. Everybody in this company sits in a trading desk format and are probably no further than 15 to 20 feet from their manager. The manager's role is to work with the sales rep to make sure that they're in the game and present, prepared for success on a day-to-day basis. And then they've got the tools, whether that's marketing collateral, the right emails, and that they're making the right pitch. Because oftentimes, particularly early in a campaign, there needs to be a continual refinement of the pitch and the questions that we see to be successful in sales. So it is a mission critical to have a sales manager on the floor with their folks in real time. The second piece of the management is the leveraging of CRM. There's so many great tools out in the world, in the business world today, that we can really use to leverage that. And that is the ability to track and manage number of calls, number of emails, how many opportunities have been created, how many demos have been set, how many demos have been held, proposals sent, proposals won, proposals lost. Every company has slightly different sales funnel, but we think that leveraging technology and a CRM tool is absolutely critical to really becoming more scientific as you look at the sales process. And as you can see from the dashboard, there are many different measurements along the way. And oftentimes, as you look at a sales funnel, you can begin to identify where the problems are. You identify whether you have a salesperson that is incapable of getting to the right person, or the price, or the problem is the price. You can generally identify those problems when you get meaningful data. And I would say 80% of the companies in the world today still struggle how to leverage this piece. And the fourth thing that we do is create meaningful data. This is a function of CRM, and it allows us to, it really is for an outsourced sales company, the scorecard. This is our report card. This allows our clients to see and react to the activity level we have and the success we're having. So you'll see that there's an incredibly important way to do that, and it is hard, and it's not easy, and it takes time, but the organization from the top down has to make the commitment that this is important, and it will help us become more understanding of the business. So with the few minutes I have left, I'd like to talk a little bit about what some of the challenges companies have and why they use us. So first and foremost, we work for a lot of companies that are in locations that have a challenge of recruiting, right? They don't have the number of employable bodies that we have. So location is critical. Again, we share the city, we share border with the city of Chicago and have a tremendously deep pool for which to fish for sales talent. There's a lot of companies that I've talked to that it's not a core competence, particularly in the technology area, that they believe that they are terrific at development, terrific at customer service, terrific at even in the onboarding, but the acquisition process is difficult because it's not easy. It's very difficult in its process. Again, it gets into the DNA of an organization of what's celebrated, what's not. This is this job can be can have for some long days, particularly if you're not having. So it's the DNA of the organization. Oftentimes we talk to companies that don't have the management bandwidth. They have often, particularly in smaller companies, they've got their key salespeople are out calling on customers. They're out prospecting. They're out dealing with clients. And every day I ask those companies, well, who is managing your team? And that's a problem. So the management bandwidth is a challenge that many organizations have, and they believe that outsourcing it to a company that can help them manage is critical. The recruiting mistakes. I believe that many companies that leverage outsourced sales organizations have just struggled recruiting. Again, yes, a lot of them don't have the ability to leverage or don't have a deep recruiting pool, but then the process they leverage is inconsistent and sloppy, and they don't use assessments. I'm shocked at how many organizations really continue to not use assessments, and I think the mistakes are acquired along the way. We believe that we're a great fit for marketing. The outsourced sales industry gets so close to your clients, gets so close to who those prospects are within an organization, that we can fill up the data and the prospecting information for our clients. Imagine if every call you could identify who the prospect in a hospital or in a municipality was. You could fill that into a CRM and then begin to market directly to those people, versus sending it to info at, just then it's spam. And again, that product or that role, I think, has been very, very important for many of our clients. I mentioned flexibility, the ability to scale up and down. If all you're doing is recruiting, training, and managing sales teams, I think it's a very, very important. That the ability to flex up and down becomes a great, valuable tool. And the last role that I would say is the reason people leverage the outsourced sales company is culture. Again, as I referred to before, it's a very difficult job. It's if you're required to make 60, 80, 120 calls a day, you've got to be focused. You've got to be and you've got to be tough and gritty. And do you have, as a culture, as a company, a culture that celebrates and rewards that? Are you providing the support for those situations when they're tough? Do you have all the rewards and incentives aligned to celebrate rewarding that difficult role in the sales process? So those are some of the reasons that we believe companies leverage an outsourced sales company. And I'll just give you a couple of reasons why companies do not leverage sales. We're not cheap. If companies are expecting this to be a magic bullet or to save money, it's not. There are models that have the ability to not perform on a full time, and they're very effective. But do not look at this role of saving money. Most organizations do not have a commission only approach. We always say you get what you pay for. The second reason why people don't outsource is what we call inertia, which is our biggest competitor, is people trying to build their own system and how they continue to try to do that and make the same mistakes. And the reason is many companies feel they're going to lose control. They lose control of the customer's voice. They lose control of a particular role. We've not seen that. Outsource sales companies, if they're doing their job, should act as an extension of their clients and not a role that's not mission critical. So that's the role of the company, to make sure that they're providing that meaningful data, the meaningful feedback with the voice of the client. So people don't, to recap why people don't outsource, they don't outsource to save money. They don't outsource because they think they can do it again. And they don't outsource because they think they're losing control. And I think there are ways, and those are important for a lot of companies, but there are a lot of organizations within the industry that have addressed certain of those questions. That's all that I have today that I think I'm prepared to speak about in my presentation. Are there any other questions, comments, thoughts? I'll open up the mic, and if you like to ask any questions, I'd be happy to address them if I can. I must have been riveting or very complete. Question is, hey Joe, thanks for the overview. What kind of goals do your clients typically set in the first 6 months after the launch? It's a great question, and unfortunately, the way I communicate with a lot of the people that are exploring this is that we have to go through this test period. Just typically, we ask for a 6-month test period that allows us to gather a lot of information and create what reality is. Right? Most companies that we begin working for, have never done this. So I kind of say to them, if you don't know, then I certainly won't know. But what we can do is really put things in a laboratory and begin to measure the number of calls, the number of voicemails, which leads to the contacts made, which leads to demos set, or whatever those methodology, whatever those key metrics that you have in your sales piece. And then we're able to refine it and then come out of that 6-month period and say, this is what reality is. And this is what we've learned through that period. So it is, we work very hard on not setting expectations that we can't keep, because it's just not fair to everybody. It's not fair to you, the client. It's not very fair to the employees that we have that would be unfairly judged based on metrics that fall out of the sky. Now, that's not to say we don't work with companies and say, let's collaborate. Let's talk about how we can measure this, because what organizations attempt to do is they begin to measure an ROI. How do you measure the value of a lead? Many companies that we work for, they're easily able to measure leads through SEO, PPC, other digital methodologies. They should be able to measure the creation of leads through an outsourced sales function as well. And we believe that is. But again, in the early stages, oftentimes we're pulling best guess and refining it as we go through. Next question. What are the 3 things a client should think about will help them be as successful as when partnering with you? Another great question. We believe it is mission critical that we have somebody within the client that is most responsible for our success, that is our go-to person where we can rely on them for constant feedback, additional marketing material. So a go-to person is number one. It's great to have inbound leads. Oftentimes, we're never given inbound leads, so we have to go out and create this. And the third is, unfortunately, we've worked for companies that have products that are not, we call it, ready for prime time. And we're going to be, an outsourced sales company is going to be most successful if they're working with technology or other tools that are market ready. And we have been hired by companies where we do everything we can, and we get our products and services to the end, and they don't sell. And oftentimes it's not a function of whether we did a good job or not. The product or service wasn't ready for prime time. So it's key. It's the answer. The three are a key contact, some warm leads, and the third is a product ready to go. Third question: how do you know if a company is a good fit? Do you have a checklist? I wish we did. I cannot. We don't have the silver bullet, and it sounds silly. We've been at this 12 years, and then we cannot figure out what the right fit is. But we do know that most companies are very good at selling technology. A lot of our business is in the medical space, and the lead generation has become a very substantial part of a successful sales process. When your most expensive sales talent is in front of clients more than just sitting in their homes prospecting. Hi, Joe. Great overview. Thanks, Mom. No. Is there a type of company you tend to work with? Is this all types of sales organizations? It really is. Again, as I mentioned, we don't seem to have the magic bullet as to where we're successful, but we really dig in, and it makes no sense for us to be hired by a company that we will not be successful for. So we really work hard on the onboarding and the evaluation, as every company does, to whether we're going to be successful. Those are great questions. I'll give you another 30 seconds, and then I'm going to go to lunch. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I hope you were able to acquire some information that will be helpful in your sales journey. We have, there are a lot of different types and flavors of outsourced sales companies that are lead gen, are taking cold call to close, or have got more flexibility in their rates. Good luck in your sales journey, and I hope we can be of service today. Thank you.
All right. Good job.